I speedran the Windows games. POV, the year's 2004. You just got home from school and the parents are using the TV. So you hop on the family computer to play your favorite browser game. But POV, your internet is from 2004 and is non-functional for 20% of the day. But you aren't about to let your hour of free time go to waste, so you turn to the last backup plan you have, the Windows OS games. Now to be clear, this speedrun is not every game available on Windows, because if it were, we'd be here forever. This is a speedrun of games that come included with your Windows operating system. While researching the run, I learned that there are a handful of games that were only available on specific tiers of Windows, as well as different computer types. So to keep things simple, I decided only on games that were in the spirit of the run and also did not need to be installed. I hope you find room in your heart to forgive me, Purple Place stands. I organized my run as such. I front-loaded all the games with AI opponents to the front, as those have the most unknown variables, and left a little break in the middle until the real run killers at the end. To add a little challenge, all the games are on the hardest difficulty except for the games with AI players, which are on normal. I wasn't about to give myself a headache by going against the Magnus Carlsen bot in chess who always knows the statistically perfect move. So with the list finalized, I set out to complete the challenge middle school me never could. I'm going to beat the games that came with my computer in 3, 2, 1, go! First game on the list is Reversi, a simple game where you convert the opponent's pieces by sandwiching them between your own. The strategy here is to grab the sides and corner pieces, as those are the most valuable, and suffocate him in my box of pain. The plan worked like a charm, and 4 minutes and 50 seconds in, I'm already moving on to the next game.
One down.
Chess was never my strong suit, so this scared me going in. I tried for a cheeky little 4-turn stunner with shades of critical, but old Bill Sr. has been around the block once or twice and swatted my cheese strat away. We had to do this the long way. The opponent was doing an amazing job keeping me on my back foot. His queen was wreaking havoc on my backline and putting me in check left and right. But my queen was racking up a body count too, and it became a race of whose queen will slay harder. A couple of misplays on Bill's end, the dominoes started falling. Not even my insane blunder losing my queen would stop this momentum. But firing all single neuron in my brain to squeak out a W took 24 minutes, and my pace was looking rough going into hearts. But it was more like Heartbreaker, as the AI reared its head and planned to make an example of me by sending their 3 hitmen my way. And at the center of it all was Lisa. Her warm, disarming smile masked her cold, calculating exterior. Hand after hand, I was made a fool. Right off the bat, she hit me with a shoot the moon, causing me to be insanely far behind and off for a reset. And her lackeys were not letting up. Anyone that was looking good, Lisa would reach into the heart of the cards and end it. That is, until one god run. Late into the run, I was trailing Lisa by 12 points. I hold my queen of spades until the perfect moment and hit her with a plus 12, as well as some other cards to put me from 12 behind her to 12 in the lead. I just needed Bill to get 14 points and I was home free. And like a pinch hitter with the bases loaded, I clutched the last round, freed myself from the multiplayer part of the speedrun, and sent Lisa and her gang packing. Mahjong was a chance for me to get a breather after the battering I just took. Match some shapes and symbols and mentally prep myself for the games ahead. There were multiple setups for me to choose from. Pyramid, Turtle, Castle, Daniel. I chose Daniel. Not even phased by the L I took in Mahjong. I locked in for round 2 and finished in around 21 minutes. Not a terrific pace, but I'm happy coming out with that after bleeding almost 50 minutes in hearts. Up next was Solitaire, and despite being quite familiar with this game, it proved very difficult to get a win out of. I'm sure there's some optimal way to count cards and improve your chances at a W, but I mean, look at me. Do I look like the kind of guy who knows how to do that? So run after run, trying to brute force my way, I finally get the perfect luck needed to win, and then tragedy strikes. Upon reaching the end where I should win, there is nothing. No satisfied card autofilling, and no cards bouncing everywhere. I mean, yeah, I still won, but this is a big deal. Coming to terms with this realization, I manually cleaned up the rest of my board and packed up for Free Cell. Free Cell is a game of knowledge, a game of tactics, a game of what the hell am I doing? It is basically just Solitaire, but all the cards are jumbled on the board and you got 4 free cells to move cards around. I took a couple of losses before getting the game that went the distance, cleared up the board, relived the trauma of no endgame card flourishes, and got past Free Cell in just under 14 minutes. I was pretty happy with the progress I was making. The timer was on a pretty respectable pace. but nothing could prepare me for the behemoth coming up that is Spider Solitaire. If you haven't played it before, Spider Solitaire sports surprisingly 0 spiders. I guess unless you count these little guys. Avert your eyes, arachnophobes. The premise is the same as the regular Solitaire, but instead of alternating colors, you need to make a stack of the same suit. It can only move groups that are that same suit. Normally, in Spider Solitaire, you're only working with 1 or 2 suits, but this isn't a challenge to beat them on easy mode. Oh no, we are playing on hard, where all 4 suits are in play, and boy, did I play. Getting through Spider Solitaire was a slog, and I found myself failing to get anywhere close to winning. Run after run after run after run. Spider Solitaire laid the web, and I ran straight into it. Now like a bug, I'm struggling to free myself from its icy grasp. But all of a sudden, when all hope was lost, I dig down deep, gather my courage, and lose again. But the run after that, fate smiles upon me. And like Neo, I see the code, I see the way, I see victory. And I free myself from the clutches of the Spider Solitaire, a changed man from the horrors I witnessed. But light was on the horizon as I was in the home stretch. But between me and the eternal glory was a field that was full of mines that needed sweeping. I don't know, man. Minesweeper's a deceptively simple game and a rather intimidating package. The natural strat is to click everywhere on the board like our caveman brain demands. But there is a method to the madness. These numbers mean something. Now let me be Mason and tell you what that is. Each number tells you how many mines are next to that spot, and you can plant down flags to mark where you think the mine is. If you find all the mines next to a spot, you can click with both mouse buttons to clear the spaces next to that spot. It's a game of numbers and math, so by all accounts I should be cooked here. But I'm riding a high from Spider Solitaire and I've just entered the flow state. The fog in my head clears and I'm an unstoppable sweeping machine. I'm pushing buttons like Pavlov. I'm throwing more flags than a campaign rally. I'm running it back. Perhaps this is a good time to mention that I've never beat Minesweeper on hard before. There's always a 50-50 I've lost, a misclick that leads to my doom, an attention span that doesn't keep up. I need to lock in, and I need to do it before this clock gets embarrassing. Stealing my resolve, I get back to it. It was then something beautiful happened. I can't quite explain it, but it's something in the air shifted. I was hitting my 50-50s. I wasn't missing clicks, and my mind was more logged in than it's ever been. I was on the God run. By some miracle, I beat it. I beat the Windows games, and I did it in a blistering
5:42:50. We did it.
Woo! A time that may not ever be beaten. A time that Summoning Salt himself will do a full depth analysis on. But I know what you're thinking. You're saying, Streez, you forgot something. It's in your thumbnail, bro. You forgot the most important game of them all. Let me put your worries to rest. Not only did I remember Space Cadet Pinball, but a world record run needs a victory lap, doesn't it?
Oh, listen.
Now, the original plan was included in the timed part of the run, but not only did the emulator kinda run like ass,
like 5 frames
how do you
per second.
speedrun a pinball game? So, I made the executive decision to put it after the run. A reward for those worthy to clear the gauntlet before it. A cherry on a world-class run. So there you have it. A challenge that was years in the making for me conquered. I stared down the barrel of the Windows games and I beat them all. Well, maybe not all of them. There's still purple place.